Welcome to the Univar Solutions Flex Forward Plant-Based Snacks webinar. During today's session, you will be able to submit questions via the chat box feature. The way you go about this is pretty simple. First, click on the question box as indicated in this diagram and type your question in the bottom box. Only the presenter will see the questions and the sender will be anonymous to the other attendees. You can submit questions at any time during the presentation, but we will address the questions at the end of the presentation. At Univar Solutions, we're serious about safety, so we'll start the webinar today with a safety share and then introduce today's presenters before diving into plant-based market trends. Once we understand what the trends in the market look like, we'll take a deeper look at what ingredients are essential to create plant-based snacks. Our safety share today focuses on foods in our pantry and fridge. Dates you find on your food products aren't required or regulated by any governing body, so deciphering the meaning can sometimes be confusing. A few common dates are described here. Moisture and temperature can definitely affect food items prior to these dates or after, so make sure to use care in your preparation when handling and storing. As always, yield to your senses and throw out any items that have developed an off odor, flavor, or texture. And today's webinar will be presented by myself alongside Bo Lee and Rosa Sanchez. I'm Jody Yagi, the Product Marketing Manager with Univar Solutions, and my colleague, Bo, is the Application Development Specialist. Rosa is the Global Senior Director of R&D Applications with Evergreen. Over the next couple of years, we can expect plant-based snacking to continue to evolve in the nutrition space. Along with indulgent flavors and mini innovations. This will include new high protein and high fiber launches. In the next 5 years and beyond, sustainability will be a major driver of those innovations, along with smart nutritional innovations. Innovations in snacking look to be more adventurous, with customers seeking unique ingredients with a twist. Customers are looking for functionality, from nutritional to beauty boosting benefits, while also searching for more from their experience. We're seeing brands starting to pair frozen goods with more traditional bar applications, or see fillings that are bringing a surprising flavor into the fold. Customers will be swayed with affordable sustainability. Now I will turn things over to Bo Lee, who will highlight some ingredients used in the snacking industry to meet these consumer wants.
Thank you, Jody. Hello, everyone. My name is Bo Lee, the Application Development Specialist with Univar Solutions. Let's dive into some basics and considerations for the development of plant-based snacks. It is important to decide the product format before the work starts, which will affect the equipment, ingredients, and packaging to choose down the road. Protein bars, for example, what should be the size and the shape? Protein bowls and bite-sized snacks are quite on trend for ease of consumption and portion control for the consumers. Nutritional targets need to be designed properly for selection of ingredients such as proteins, fiber, sweeteners, vitamins, and minerals. There is a variety of plant-based proteins, and the target protein per serving and protein quality would dictate the direction of formulating, as the usage rate of protein could be high, and a blend of proteins might need to be used to achieve a better PDCAAS or a flavor profile. Healthy indulgence is becoming a kind of diet style, and the consumers nowadays are looking for snacks with less added sugars and calories, as well as cleaner labels. Sensory is the whole experience of eating. Formulators should have an idea of the desired texture, mouthfeel, flavor, taste, aroma, and color of the final products right from the get-go. But these sensory targets could be adjusted as the developmental process goes along, based on the feedback from the results of sensory panels. Shelf life and storage conditions need to be carefully designed and analyzed for food safety reasons and optimal food quality for consumption. Preservatives could be used if extended shelf life is required, or other hurdles such as refrigeration, low pH, or low water activity are not sufficient to maintain freshness during shelf life. Is natural or clean label required? Formulators will need to clarify the internal definition of natural and clean label, as there is currently not a regulatory definition for these terms. The ingredients that are made from fermentation or enzymatic conversion are generally considered natural by most of the formulators. But again, the requirements could vary from one company to another. Non-GMO Project Verified logo is becoming a must for a lot of the new snack products. The demand for organic, gluten-free certification is also growing at a very fast pace. Vegan, kosher, halal, keto, or paleo are some of the diet requirements that cater to certain groups of consumers. The inclusion of any of these certifications on the labels will rely heavily on the marketing strategies, and the formulators should select and include the right ingredients to the acceptable ratios to be compliant. Here is a breakdown of the composition and formulation parameters for the plant-based snacks. Nutrition as mentioned, and we will further discuss proteins in the next sections. Vanilla and chocolate are still the most basic and popular flavors. Vanillin, vanilla flavors, and cocoa powders are typically used in this category, either as the major flavor components or as backgrounds to enhance other flavors. For instance, a coconut-flavored edible cookie dough bite could utilize a small amount of vanilla flavor to enhance the overall flavor roundness and creaminess. Sweetness level is critical for the taste of sweet snacks, and the amount of added sugar matters for the consumers that are health conscious and prefer less sugar in their diet. Texture and mouthfeel encompass multiple factors, and it is important to understand which inputs in the formula would make an impact and to what extent. Hydrocolloids, emulsifiers, starches, and oils are typically the categories to monitor and adjust. The addition of fats and oils, and in some cases, emulsifiers, will trigger a noticeable change on the mouthfeel. Seeds, nuts, spices, and herbs are often included in snacks to enhance nutrition and texture, which also means a strong binding agent is needed to ensure that pieces can be properly attached and stabilized. Antioxidants are commonly used in snacks to control oxidation of unsaturated fats to preserve flavor and color. Antimicrobials should be used if there is concern over spoilage caused by bacteria, mold, or yeast growth. The attention needs to be given, especially for those products that are higher in water activity, lower in pH, and with minimal heat treatment during processing. Choosing the right plant-based proteins can make a difference on the nutrition, sensory, and texture of the finished snack products. The table here shows some options that are recommended for the plant-based snacks. EverPro Barley Rice Protein Isolate contains 85% protein and has neutral taste and smooth mouthfeel. The solubility is superior compared to most of the plant-based proteins. EverVita Pro and EverVita Fibra are made from the same upcycle process with further fractionation to obtain different levels of protein and fiber. Both EverVita products are recommended to replace flour as a base to reduce carbohydrates and fortify protein and fiber. Chickpea protein contains 70% of protein and provides emulsification property to improve the binding of oil and water, which could be advantageous to reduce the incorporation of texturizers and emulsifiers for certain formulas. Pea protein is a common option with 80% of protein or higher. However, the beanie taste and greedy mouthfeel could be a limiting factor when it is applied at a higher usage rate. Protein blending could be considered to help resolve such issues. EverPro barley rice protein, for example, has been tested and proven to pair well with pea protein in a 50-50 blend or other ratios. Sasha Inchi protein is naturally rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which is often considered a superfood due to the nutrient-dense property. Soy protein has high protein content and protein quality. The taste is neutral that works well in both sweet and savory flavored products. Non-GMO versions are available in a wide range of protein level and formats such as powders, textural, granulates, and texture flakes. I'm now handing the presentation over to Rosa for the next section.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Rosa Sanchez, just like Bo mentioned. I am the Senior Global Director for Applications at Evergreen. I'm glad to be participating in this webinar. Thank you so much for the invitation. You may wonder what is Evergreen. So Evergreen is a startup fully owned by Anheuser-Busch that utilizes the barley spent grain from the beer processing. We actually call it barley safe grain. And with this, we produce two product lines, EverPro and EverVita. During this presentation, we will review our portfolio. We will go into detail on what is EverPro and how it functions, as well as EverVita functionality. And finally, we will review some concept application for both product lines. As mentioned before, within Evergreen, we have two product lines, EverPro, protein-rich barley rice isolate, and EverVita, barley fiber with protein. I will go into more details on the next slide. So here you can see on the top, EverPro contains 85% protein, and it is a blend of barley and rice. The ratio is approximately 70-30, and this ratio is defined by the beer processing. So 70% barley, 30% rice. EverPro is mainly targeted for beverages, bars, dips, and spreads. Within the EverVita product line on the bottom here, we have two different ingredients. EverVita Pro, which is higher in protein, and EverVita Fibra, which contains more fiber than protein. But both of these products are targeted for bakery, bars, and snacks. It is important to mention that the fiber in EverVita is an insoluble fiber. So you may wonder how barley compares to other plant proteins or fiber sources. Well, here is a comparison versus the most common plant proteins. As you can see, barley's protein composition is mainly prolamines and glutamines, which leads to a PDCAS of 0.6. Our limiting amino acid is lysine, similar to rice and all other grains. Now that we know how barley protein is composed, let's review its functionality. So within EverPro functionality, we will review its solubility, stability, viscosity, dispersibility, water and oil holding capacities, as well as its flavor. So here, EverPro functionality, the solubility is the most important functional property for protein. In the top graph, we have solubility of two different EverPro lots. EverPro is highly soluble at a wide range of pHs. Over 80% of it is soluble. It is also very stable. Once it is in solution, it will remain in solution with a TSI value of 2.1, which means it's very, very stable. Both of these tests were performed at a 5% solution. EverPro has a good dispersibility, but the most important functionality of EverPro is its very low viscosity. In the bottom graph, we have the viscosity curve at different shear rates. The blue line is water, what you see on the bottom, and the orange dotted line is EverPro. As you can see, EverPro viscosity is very close to water, which allows us to have higher inclusion levels without affecting the viscosity of the finished product. When it comes to gelling, EverPro has no gelling capacity. It has no water holding capacity and medium oil holding capacity. Therefore, we definitely wouldn't recommend EverPro as a single source of protein for chip and cut bars or extruded bars. Now that we know that EverPro is highly soluble, very low viscosity, no water holding capacity or gelling, what is the flavor? So let's look at a flavor profile. So the flavor of EverPro is malty with caramel and toasted notes. When EverPro is combined with pea protein, it improves the flavor profile by covering some of the vegetable cooked notes characteristic of pea protein. On the right side of the screen, we have a descriptive map in which 5 different commercial pea proteins were evaluated, along with blends of pea with EverPro. All the blends move to the left because of the decrease of those cooked vegetable, beany, sulfury notes, with an increase of caramel, malty, and grainy notes. Besides of improving the flavor, EverPro allows you to have a complete amino acid profile with pea, and it helps to reduce the overall viscosity. So next, I have an example of a ready-to-mix beverage showing us a blend of EverPro. And so EverPro definitely can enable a higher protein ready-to-mix beverage, as well as ready-to-drink beverages. We tested this concept with consumers versus market leaders, and it won with an overall liking of 5.6. So now that we have reviewed EverPro, we will move into EverVita. So for EverVita, we will review its viscosity, emulsifying properties, gelling capacity, water and oil holding capacity, and some other properties. As mentioned earlier in the presentation, EverVita has 2 products, EverVita Pro, which is high in protein, and EverVita Fibra, which contains more fiber. On the viscosity graph, we can see the difference on viscosity between them. Definitely, EverVita Pro has lower viscosity. We wanted to understand if EverVita had any emulsifying capacities that could help replace or reduce emulsifiers. However, that is not the case. As you can see on the table, when compared to sodium caseinate, EverVita Pro and Fibra have very low emulsifying capacity. And after a week, that emulsion that was created showed phase separation. So since both products have fiber, we wanted to understand if the fiber could potentially make a gel or hold water and oil. Unfortunately, neither product was able to form a gel, but they do both have good water holding capacity and medium holding capacity, medium oil capacity, sorry, when compared to other proteins. So besides the functional properties of EverVita, we can say that EverVita is high in dietary fiber, high in protein, it has a clean taste, it's low in sugar, low in glycemic index, rich in phenolic compounds, and also EverVita Pro consists of mainly dietary fiber and protein. So let's move into the next slide. So here, each product has different lengthy slide application. In this slide, we wanted to show you that EverVita Pro is more suitable for muffins, cakes, and EverVita Fibra is more suitable for cookies and crackers. However, with either one of them, you can replace between 5 to 15% of flour, enabling a more nutritious and tastier product than other commercial available fibers in the marketplace. So as follows, we will review some concepts. Here first we have a biscuit. which it was optimized with Evervita fibra at 10%. That allows us to make a claim for good source of fiber, iron, thiamine, and niacin. It also provides a light and crispy texture with a golden appearance and neutral taste. Definitely superior to wheat bran and oat fiber. Then we looked at bake and breakfast bars. We optimized them with Evervita fibra at 25%, allowing for a good source of protein and fibers and iron. It provides a very soft and tender texture with a healthy look, superior to legume flours and some oat flours. In our next concept, the crunchy fortified cracker, we optimized it with Evervita fibra at 8%, so it allows us to make a claim of good source of fiber, very neutral, slightly and sweet taste, and a beautiful light golden color. Besides bakery items, Evervita fibra can improve snack pellets. Evervita fibra decreases the oil pickup by 10% more, thus decreasing fat and calories. Definitely, Evervita can enable protein and fiber content claims in this application. So Evervita Pro in bakery can improve a specific volume, provide some moist texture, improve the nutritional profile, and in this specific case, we use Evervita Pro at 9%. So both Evervita and EverPro, definitely can be applied to bars and snack. They both will provide additional nutrition, producing more satiating snacks by producing also better bars and more crunchy and crispy textures. EverPro can produce a nice nugget type texture in sheet and cut bars, which remain soft over 4 months shelf life. So in summary, Evervita has a clean taste and smooth mouthfeel, low in starch, sugars, and calories, minimally processed to fit clean labels, easy to work with, and functionally versatile for many different types of bakery applications. While EverPro is highly soluble, low viscosity, allowing better control of viscosity, quality plant protein, and in combination with pea protein, it will provide us a complete protein. Hope you enjoy learning about barley protein and fiber. Thank you so much for your attention. If you think of any other questions after this webinar, please don't hesitate to contact me. And I will hand that back to Bo. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosa. In this section, we will be discussing a variety of functional ingredients that can be used in the plant-based snacks and specific properties to pay attention to. So for sweeteners and flavor, syrups are very often used as binders to hold pieces together and maintain moisture. Sugar-based syrups could derive from corn, tapioca, agave, or other plant sources. Liquid sugar alcohols or rare sugars are also popular choices to help reduce added sugar and calories. Glycerin is a good example, and it is an excellent humectant. Allulose is a rare sugar and has sugar-like taste profile, which is very easy to work with to replace sugar in snacks. High-intensity sweeteners can provide high level of sweetness at low usage rates. These high-intensity sweeteners, however, have different sweetness profile, and the aftertastes sometimes need to be masked for improvement on taste. Sugar alcohol such as erythritol works well with stevia or monk fruit to provide both bulk and a more rounded sweetness curve similar to sugar. Allulose is capable of synergizing with high-intensity sweeteners as well. For flavoring, vanillin is the compound that contributes the intense vanilla flavor note for most of the vanilla flavors. So pure vanillin is a great tool to add vanilla flavor and elevate flavor intensity. There is also a natural version of vanillin made from naturally derived raw materials. And the flavor profile and intensity are the same as the conventional version. Most of the cocoa powders are alkalized to develop different flavor profiles and color ranging from light brown to dark red. The non-alkalized cocoa powder is lighter in color and flavor and is used in certain products that prefer not to have alkalization in processing of any ingredients. Yeast extract is an excellent flavor enhancer for savory snacks such as plant-based jerkies. Ingredient solutions for texture and mouthfeel. Hydrocolloids or stabilizers are key to build and maintain texture during storage. Kappa type of carrageenan can form a firm gel to improve firmness with heat activation at 75 degrees Celsius. Lambda type of carrageenan does not gel, but can provide viscosity and binding without heat activation, which is often used in products that are made with cold processes. Xanthan gum and cellulose gum are also suitable for binding, and there is synergy when used together to further increase viscosity. Gum acacia is great to enhance mouthfeel and moisture retention, and it has low viscosity and does not gel under any conditions. Oils are important to enhance the richness of mouthfeel and nutrition of snacks. High oleic versions of canola or sunflower oils are recommended for fried snacks, as they have much lower level of double bonds from polyunsaturated fats, which means higher oxidative stability that prevents development of undesired flavor notes. Unsaturated fats are also generally considered good fats from a nutritional standpoint for heart health, and that is a plus for healthy snacking. Coconut oil is solid in room temperature and has functional properties like milk fats. For example, a plant-based cheese snack could benefit from coconut oil to optimize creamy mouthfeel and milk properties. Emulsifiers such as lecithin and mono and diglycerides can help improve mixing and binding of oil and water. These result in a softer dough with better extensibility and a more stable finished product that is less prone to separation. Lecithin is generally considered clean label and available from different plant sources, including soy, sunflower, and canola. Starches are typically used at 1% to 5% of total formula weight in some snacks for binding and bulking. Modified starches should be used for products that go through harsh processing conditions, such as high temperature, high shear, and low pH to remain stable. If it's a cold process, modified instant starches can provide instant gelling without any heat activation. Functional native starches are physically modified to match the functionalities and process tolerance of modified starches, which can be labeled without the word modified for snack products that call for clean label. Maltodextrin is an excellent bulking agent to help increase solid content, as it has very little impact on the texture, flavor, and color of the finished products. Enzymes facilitate the breakdown of starches, lipids, proteins, or other compounds to create various functional properties. Phospholipases can convert triglycerides that naturally present in the flour or other ingredients into monoglycerides. With the use of lipase enzymes, monoglyceride would not need to be labeled on the ingredient statement while achieving the same functionality. Enzymatic hydrolysis can significantly improve the solubility and taste of some plant proteins. If savory flavor is needed for savory snacks, there is also a protease enzyme that can modify proteins to do the job. Acrylate is a unique enzyme that can help reduce the formation of acrylamide. Acrylamide is a suspected carcinogen that forms naturally in food processed with high heat and low moisture. Fried, baked, or extruded snacks and bars can benefit from acrylate enzyme to eliminate the concern over acrylamide that consumers are aware of. Fortification. So vitamins and minerals are very commonly used for fortification for snacks, and vitamin C and calcium in particular are added in a lot of the plant-based snacks for better nutrition and labeling. Vitamin C is available in pure crystal form or from plant source, such as an acerola cherry extract. Vitamin C can function to lower pH and provide antioxidant activity for preservation as well. And there are several types of food-grade calcium minerals, and each has different properties. For example, tricalcium phosphate has an impressive level of calcium at 38%, which can be used at a very low usage rate to achieve the fortification target. Tricalcium citrate and calcium lactate are lower in calcium content, but both are gaining traction for snacks as there is less sandiness, mouthfeel, and bitterness taste associated with some of the other calcium minerals. Fibers are primarily used for fortification, but there are also other functional benefits that fibers can provide. For example, fructooligosaccharides in a protein bar. Prebiotic is added, promoting gut health, and it can help with binding, moisture retention, and provide mild sweetness for sugar reduction as well. The usage of syrup binders can be reduced as a result. Resistant tapioca starch contains 85% of fiber and has low texturizing effect, which is suitable for fortification when the texture and mouthfeel should not be impacted by the addition of fiber. Psyllium husk fiber can form a viscous paste and provide strong binding when hydrated with water. And citrus fiber is great for emulsification and moisture retention. Preservation and pH control. Preservatives are divided into antioxidants and antimicrobials. The high amount of unsaturated fats could be problematic for some plant-based snacks. It is recommended to add an antioxidant to extend shelf life and ensure quality food is always delivered to the end consumers. Mixed tocopherols and rosemary extract are commonly used and dosed into oil phase for incorporation. Acerola extract and green tea extract are more water-soluble for use in water-based systems. These antioxidants are used at low usage rates, and there's typically no flavor impact on the finished products. Antimicrobials are less commonly used in dry snacks, as low water activity and certain processing conditions could build enough hurdle to resist microbial growth for the target shelf life. However, it is still critical to conduct shelf life studies as there are other factors to consider, such as packaging materials and storage conditions. Potassium sorbate and sodium benzoate are highly effective against the growth of molds, yeast, and bacteria. Fermentation-based preservatives such as culture sugar, culture starch, vinegar, and lactic acid can be used to replace sorbate and benzoate in some applications for a cleaner label. Acidulants are commonly used to lower pH for preservation and flavoring. Lactic acid specifically is great for plant-based snacks to enhance dairy notes for plant-based cheese or milk flavors. It is also less sour compared to citric acid and malic acid, which can be utilized for products that need a mild sourness profile. Univar Solutions can help you find the right ingredients to build your winning formulations. We are a one-stop shop for technical support and ingredient sourcing from concept to commercialization. Our brochures and recipe cards are designed for formulators to review ingredient options, functionalities, and starting usage rates. Please do not hesitate to contact our sales account managers and application development specialists for more information.
Thanks, Rosa and Bo. That was great. Now it's time for our Q&A session. And as a reminder, you can submit your questions using the chat box feature. First, click the question box as indicated in this diagram and type your question in the bottom box. Again, only the presenters will see this and it will be anonymous to the other attendees. So let's go ahead and take our first question. Rosa, this looks like it might be for you. Would there be any concerns with texture if I intend to use EverPro as the only or major protein source in a protein bite snack? And how's the stability during storage? You want to take that one?
Yes, of course. So EverPro has minimal impact on the texture or viscosity of the matrix, even when used at high usage levels. It's been tested to fortify 15 to 20 grams of protein for high protein snacks, with great results on sensory, texture, and mouthfeel. There is no concern on the texture changes of finished products, such as hardening during storage. Of course, the result could vary depending on the protein level, other ingredients, shelf life, and storage conditions of your product.
Great, thank you. We've got the next question. I'm interested in testing the acryloate enzyme in the making of potato chip snacks. Where should I add this enzyme in the process? Bo, this sounds like it might be up your alley.
Yep, yeah, I can take this one. So acryloate enzyme can easily be mixed with other ingredients such as potato flakes, potato starch, salt, and water in the production of snack pellets with typically minimal or no process modifications required. And ideally, the temperature of the ingredient mix should be kept at 35 to 55 degrees Celsius, and the holding time should be about 10 to 20 minutes or longer. And also pH 6.5 is recommended to optimize the performance of the acryloate enzyme.
Okay, very good. Hopefully that was helpful. We do have a third question here. Again, Bo, I think this one is in your area. Is there any limit on the usage level of allulose, specifically for nutritional bar applications?
That is a great question. Yeah, so allulose is permitted in the US, and yes, there are usage limits for specific applications. For nutritional bars, the maximum usage level for the liquid allulose would be 13.5%, which is about 10% of allulose on a dry basis. So the synergy between allulose and high intensity sweeteners could be utilized if extra sweetness is needed when it is not possible to use more allulose due to regulations.
Very good. Unfortunately, I think we're coming up on our time limit here, and we have reached the end of time that we have for questions. I know there were a few more questions that came in, and you can still submit questions. If we didn't get a chance to answer them on today's webinar, we will follow up after the webinar and make sure that you get your questions answered. So as always, go ahead and submit those questions. If you're wanting samples of any of the products that were presented today, you can utilize that same question area to submit those requests as well. Again, thank you for participating in the plant-based snacks webinar. The recording will be available for request. Have a great day and thanks for joining.